Have you ever wondered why some people seem to have the golden touch? Everything they do works out. They overcome obstacles, create opportunities, grow financially and personally. Is it luck? Destiny? Inheritance? The truth, according to Napoleon Hill, is much more powerful, and it's within your reach. Napoleon Hill was one of the first authors to study success as a science. For more than 2 decades, he interviewed the wealthiest and most influential people in the world, trying to understand what made them different. And you know what he discovered? That success is not about luck. It's about mindset, purpose, and consistent action. One of Hill's most powerful quotes is, "Whatever the mind of man can conceive and believe, it can achieve." This isn't just empty motivation. It's the foundation of a practical philosophy. Because the truth is, most people live on autopilot, repeating patterns, complaining, and waiting for things to change, without changing anything within themselves. And Hill shows that this must change, and it can change. It all starts with a decision. What do you really want? I'm not talking about vague desires like, I want to be rich, or, I want to be happy. Hill talks about a burning, clear, specific desire. How much money do you want to earn? What are you willing to give in return? By when? With what plan? When you define that clearly and write it down, you take the first step in turning a dream into a real goal. But wanting alone is not enough. You need to believe. Hill talks a lot about the power of faith, not in the religious sense but as inner belief, confidence in yourself. When you repeat daily what you want, when you visualize your goal, when you emotionally commit to it, your mind starts working in your favor. You begin to see opportunities that you once ignored. You act with more focus and develop a force many call willpower, but which is actually a mind trained to win. Another essential point is practical knowledge. Hill explains that knowledge only has value when it's applied. You don't need all the degrees in the world, but you do need to master what's essential to your goal. If you want to start a business, you need to study the market, learn about management, understand your customers. If you want to invest, you need to learn about finance. The good news is that all of this is within reach if you seek it with discipline and commitment. Hill also talks about the power of imagination. It's through imagination that you find solutions, create new paths, and innovate. Many people think creativity is a gift, but Hill shows that it's a skill, and like any skill, it can be developed. When you start visualizing solutions instead of problems, your life begins to change. But none of this matters without action. Hill is clear: if you don't take action, you don't get results. And that action needs to be organized and based on a plan. But here's the thing: the plan doesn't have to be perfect. If it fails, you adjust and try again. The key is not to stop. What separates winners from quitters is persistence. Those who keep going even when everything seems against them are the ones who make it. And there's more. Hill highlights the importance of surrounding yourself with the right people. He calls this the mastermind group, people who think like you, who share similar goals, who support and exchange knowledge with you. Alone you may go fast, but with the right people you'll go far. Another powerful but often overlooked point is the role of the subconscious mind. Hill says it's like fertile soil. Whatever you plant in it, it will absorb. If you plant fear, insecurity, and doubt, that's what will grow. But if you plant faith, courage, and self-confidence, your mind will begin to work for you. That's why it's so important to control what you consume, what you say, and who you spend time with. All of that feeds your mind. And finally, he talks about the invisible enemies of success: fears. Fear of failure. Fear of criticism. Fear of poverty. Fear of not being loved. Fear of aging. Fear of death. These fears hold most people back. But they only have power when you ignore them. When you face them, they lose their strength. The conclusion is clear: you have the power to create the life you want. It's not easy. It's not fast. But it's possible. And it all begins in your mind. If you want a life of results, you need to train your mind every day. You need to decide what you want, believe it's possible, act with focus, learn from your mistakes, surround yourself with positive people, and never stop growing. That is the real path to success according to Napoleon Hill. And it begins with one choice. Are you going to keep reacting to life, or are you finally going to start creating your own reality? If this content made sense to you, hit the like button, share it with someone who needs to hear it, and subscribe to the channel to keep growing with us. Believe me, you're capable of much more than you think.